Hey, what's up? Hello. How we doing this week?
I'm alright.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the listener out there.
They're alright.
How y'all doing? How are you? Anyway, so E3 has come and it is gone.
Man.
We decided to do a two-parter simply because of our recording schedule. We wanted to do kind of our reaction to the press conferences that these various companies have had. Right, boys?
Aw, yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Yep, so we're here with the second half. We're going to have some Ubisoft, some Sony, and some Nintendo. And, yeah, so with a ton of content there. Let's get...
Sorry, guys.
Let's get going with the... Here, let's introduce the besties for anybody who's just tuning in for the first time. First up, we have the Eagle.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? And ladies, all of you, and whoever.
He's coming at us long distance from Hotlanta. Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, right?
Yeah, you already know, nice and sweating my tail off. But just to throw a pre-apology, like Jacob said, yes, I am out of town in Atlanta this weekend. So I'm doing my best. I've got a Amazon Prime box holding my mic up in my face. I'm doing good, so I pre-apologize if there's any audio issues or if a dog comes in and attacks me or anything goes on. So we're going to try and roll with the punches. Hopefully it's nice and smooth sailing.
All right. I'm sure. I mean, you sound pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Everything is A-okay thus far. So that's the Eagle, and then we have Brent the Spider.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, Internet. And I'll say, hey, Eagle, thanks for, still pulling it together.
Hey, this is important to me, and this is important to the listeners, I'm sure. I hope so. So I'm here for you guys. Don't you ever worry about it. I'll record this on a Walkman if I need to. Don't test me.
And I'm Jacob. Best Jacob Alive 2 on the old Xbox and Best Jacob Alive 3 on PlayStation. But that's not really important. Like I mentioned before, as kind of a preamble, if you will, we had some Microsoft, some Bethesda news, some Sony, some EA, some all kinds of stuff, where they announced their big, exciting projects for this year and the year to come. About half of them happened before we recorded the first time, and so here we are again with the second half. It's a little week behind, on the news and such, but we wanted to give equal attention to everybody, even though a lot, I would have to say, with the exception of the Spider, that I'm going to be an Xbox dude forever. And, yeah.
I mean, I would still
fanboy.
consider myself an Xbox fanboy.
Hell yeah. I'm with you, bud.
So, the remainder being Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo, and there's a lot of content here, so I figure we're just going to dive right in, right, boys?
Dive right in. Let's
Give
do
me some
it.
games.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So what did y'all bring back from Ubisoft?
XCOM 3 confirmed.
XCOM Red Hats.
Yeah.
XCOM Rabbids.
Yeah, dude, there you go.
I only caught about the second half of Ubisoft as far as my notes are concerned, but I saw a couple of little advertisements on Mario plus Rabbids. Is that how you're supposed to say it?
Sure.
Kingdom
Battle. Yeah.
Yeah, all the marketing I've seen is like Mario plus Rabbids, Kingdom Battle.
Yeah.
So it looks like the weirdest crossover I might have ever seen in my life.
Weird indeed. I think it's pretty cool that Ubisoft was able to get together with Nintendo. It's pretty random.
Yeah.
And it does look just like XCOM.
So the
As
skinny
I've
on the
heard from
game
multiple
is,
people around me.
Nintendo hasn't really let their license go too far, especially like for things like Mario. They're pillars of development. And they've gotten together with Ubisoft. Ubisoft is the one handling all the development. Nintendo seems like they're supervising and playing a smaller part. But yeah, it looks like a turn-based, grid-based combat, just like an XCOM game. And like Mario has a gun, so I don't know how you feel about that, but it's going some places.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna play it, but I think it's pretty cool just that it exists.
Yeah,
Yeah,
someone's definitely
it's
excited
Nintendo
for
guy.
this.
Well, see,
I
like
hope so.
I
I
love
hope somebody
Nintendo
plays it.
games. I just don't really care for their hardware. So if they can continue this process and maybe get some games on, PlayStation, Xbox, and let me play some of this Nintendo stuff, I'll be really excited.
Yeah.
Bruh, a Nintendo game on Xbox. I don't know if the day will ever. It'd just be so weird to see that going down.
I'm
I'm
hyped. Ubisoft is making a Nintendo game. The palace is crumbling. There's a pig sprouting wings over there. He's about to fly.
Sounds like a wild job for anybody working at Nintendo. sounds like a pretty crazy lifestyle.
Oh, it's real.
In palaces with winged animals. I'm just going to address the quote-unquote elephants in the room of Ubisoft right off the bat. And that was, we've already talked a good amount about Far Cry 5. Well, kind of. And, of course, the new Assassin's Creed Origins coming out.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward for Far Cry. Don't know yet about Assassin's Creed. Where do y'all stand with that?
Well, like I said before, this will be the first Far Cry I play, and I do plan on getting it. I think it looks insanely fun. And when it comes to Origins, I love the Assassin's series, and what they showed just kind of looks like a bunch of Assassin's Creed, but I am most likely going to get that as well, and I'm excited for it, running up and down the pyramids and seeing what they've done with their little time off. See if they've came back swinging.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed is a game that I really like as well, and what they've showed of this, just like Brent said, is it looks like Assassin's Creed, jacked up to 4K, a lot of brown, a lot of green, just like that Oasis kind of look.
Yeah.
But one thing I did notice, I don't know if you guys picked up on this as well, but they kind of showed, I guess we'll, for the sake of argument, call it like a boss fight, right? Against like
Yeah.
like a big enemy or something, and it wasn't like Ezio pressing X to assassinate. He was dodging and countering and parrying, like a third-person melee combat game, which is like, we're not going to say Dark Souls. We're just not going to say it, but it looked like that kind of combat.
Yeah. It looked a little bit less, press this button, this happens, and just repeat.
Yeah, and
do you think that's a welcome addition? Or do you think that's weird? Or
I found it strange, just because I've never really seen that in an Assassin's game. Because it's not like he was taking chunks off this dude's health. He was just barely tapping at him. Like, it was like a 10-minute boss fight to actually finally get this dude down. I don't know. It just kind of made me look at it twice. Like, wait, what's going on here? So it seemed to work pretty well, and for like a prolonged, intense fight, I mean, I'll welcome that just fine, yeah.
And maybe it's some kind of mechanic that, back to the roots of Assassin's Creed, it was all about, I mean, this is my opinion, but given the first Assassin's Creed, this is a game that's this action, third-person action game that takes a new route in the sense of his mobility. And the hero's ability to climb and attack from above and blend into crowds and all that such. So it could be just built in that, yes, you can fight them face to face, but if you were to use an assassin style, execution, like the hit points would probably be in your favor.
Right, like maybe if you were able to get above them and drop down, you could avoid that fight, or something like that.
Yeah, get all sneaky choky with them.
No.
Either way, I do think, I could be biased by saying that because maybe that's something I'm hoping for. I always felt that Assassin's Creed was a little bit on the easy side.
Totally.
I hope nobody gets mad at me because, because I exploited it. I would drop from wherever. You see a Borgia chief or whatever. And I'm talking Assassin's Creed 2 here. Because end of the day you can just drop a bomb down on them from the top of the building or what have you.
Yeah.
And exploit it yourself. But it's kind of neat that it's not up to me to control the difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it should be harder anyway.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And taking a nice long development cycle on this one, as opposed to their previous games, that's exciting just to, give a team more time, because I don't think any development team would, be mad if you gave them a little bit more time. So, but I'm just really excited to see what a massive studio and a massive game can do with a longer development cycle, and hopefully they'll bring something really special.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's stuff to climb in Egypt.
Yeah.
Don't want another 3 on our hands.
Yeah.
But that's all I'll be as far as negative with that. I'm anxious to see them try and redeem themselves. Far Cry 5 we talked about already, but we got to see some actual gameplay footage, and
Yeah.
it looked a little different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but they definitely retooled everything. Everything just seemed a little bit... I noticed it, I remember in a conversation over the week with Scott. Remember we were talking about Primal and how it's like Far Cry made you feel smaller.
Yeah.
Like they had made the world more gigantic than what I had seen in 4 and 3.
Yeah,
And,
it was like just like you said, you felt small because the world is big and it's dangerous and you're not equipped well. And the previous Far Cries have been quite the opposite. You are way over equipped, and you can kind of choose what you want. Do you want to shoot? Do you want to do bombs? Do you want to stab people? That kind of stuff. Whereas Primal, it was you're using a spear and you gotta be sneaky because that's a saber-toothed tiger, homie.
Yeah. You probably can't run either.
But yeah, I think Far Cry 5 looks great. I will say it was a little jarring with all of their, marketing material up until now being really like somber and focusing on the cult aspect and this kind of political stance it seems like they're taking. And then the trailer rolls out and it's like boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like Far Cry again.
Yeah.
This could be just conjecture, but I think that I probably shouldn't say it if I can't remember it right, but I did hear that there was a trailer or see that there was a trailer titled simply the Boom Boom trailer.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's the song.
Yeah. it was Far Cry, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they showed off some plane combat. That seemed really cool.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it's going to be up to them if they can nail the story or not. If this game is going to be worthwhile.
I think they will, though. Like some of the just gameplay that they showed, it was just showing them like executing people in the streets and just like bodies strewn about. And I feel like you're really gonna want to take these people out because they're really doing something bad.
It reminded me of Crysis, just looking out at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a real Crysis vibe when I watched that. That clip.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. It's coming soon, so keep our fingers crossed.
A couple more games that talk about next that kind of came out, I think, as like using mechanics that we saw in a bunch of Ubisoft games. The driving mechanic translating into the side release of The Crew, and so The Crew 2 is supposed to be coming out.
Yeah.
And what is this Skull and Bones, which basically looks comprised of entirely the ship minigame from the recent Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, it seems like Assassin's
Did
Creed.
it not look like that?
No, that's exactly what it looked like. In my
It's
opinion.
Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but you just can't get out of the boat.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
yeah,
my
so that
gosh,
game is
just what I asked for.
All right. Jeez, guys.
I
But
never
that is,
wanted to take a break.
The studio working on that is done by some ex-developers who did the ship combat for Black Flag. So, if you liked that and want more and a more fleshed out game based around the combat, this is right up your alley. But
Oh yeah.
I think the best part of Black Flag was getting off the boat. I don't know about you guys, but that's where I sit.
This is basically all the time that you're not in a boat. It's basically the best parts of Black Flag. And
Yeah.
but whatevs. Skull and Bones, Pirates, dar.
And you touched on it real quick, but The Crew 2 surprised the living daylights out of me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that one too.
But
A little crazy.
You were a
but just
big fan of the first one, right?
I liked it up until I had an experience, man.
Ooh, yeah.
I got disconnected at the
Bad
end of a
blood.
4-hour race, and that was the nail in the coffin for me.
Ah, that's right.
But
Sorry to laugh.
I will
Yeah,
say
it was-
the Crew 2 does add planes and boats, which
Yeah.
I wish they would have fixed the driving, but That's cool. I see him go bigger and badder.
Yeah. Man, that map was huge.
It was. I wonder
the
if they're going to
original
do that
crew.
USA, style map again, or if it's going to be a little more like focused.
They should. They should. Did y'all ever play Beyond Good and Evil or even hear of this game?
No, I had no idea until you said you played the first one. I was like, I don't even know what that is.
I got it
I don't know,
free on Xbox Gold like last year or something, and played a couple hours of it, but it was not my style. A little too family friendly.
Well,
I'm edgy,
trailer,
guys.
Trailer sure wasn't.
I need to cut some people.
If I'm not mistaken, I've seen that game exist on computer before there was a counterpart made for the Xbox itself. Like, it's an older game.
Totally.
Been around for a little while, but man, that trailer was nuts.
Yeah, very intense.
I mean,
Definitely.
it was like Blade Runner with a pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But no gameplay, so who knows?
Yeah.
So I read on Twitter, I think his name is Michel Ancel, the guy behind the game, I guess. He said that they're basically at day zero.
Oh.
They're getting started, so this game is probably several years out.
Yeah.
But it does have a huge cult following, and just the simple announcement of that trailer, right at the end of the conference it set the internet on fire.
Yeah.
It was very odd.
Big
They
time.
put so much effort into it. There has to be someone out there just shitting their pants.
Yeah.
Totally.
When I saw it, I didn't know what I was looking at though.
No, not at all.
I did once I saw the pig. I was like, oh, I remember him from the first game, I think, and so, but yeah, they've got some weird, like, Space Monkey program, Ubisoft is starting up, and I think that's kind of a name for their beta testing group, so they're asking for people to go sign up and, help them get this game going, so who knows, man. This might just turn into vaporware if you ask me.
Yep.
I don't know.
And just like that, they're gone.
Poof!
Like blunts in the ashtray.
What'd you guys think
So
of
we
South
heard
Park?
What? So we heard some confirmation finally on South Park, the fractured butthole.
Yeah.
What a funny
And,
pun.
Yeah. Dude, I'm hyped about this one, and I'm not even the biggest South Park fan.
Yeah. Like, I didn't
That
even...
first one was so fun.
Yeah, I didn't play the first one. I just watched somebody stream it, and it was an awesome experience for me, not even playing it. It was... I was shocked how just well everything was thought out and done in the first one. So I know this one's going to be just as good, if not better.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I played through the first one pretty recently, actually, like last year, and was like very surprised at how well done it, was made, and the writing. It was very funny. So
Seamless.
yeah, I think this one looks good. It has been delayed quite a few times, but it should be coming out. What did they say? Early next year?
I thought it was this year.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I
A lot
guess
of these
I'm
are
gonna
fall
have to
games.
Google it.
But yeah, Matt and Trey and the dudes over making South Park are hysterical, and their jokes are always on point, and very topical. So
October
very
17th.
there you go.
Yeah, because I remember it's one of our friends' birthday, who's the biggest South Park fan I've ever seen.
Oh,
It really is. So that's how I remember that.
Yep.
Man, I can't wait till that game comes out. But yeah, that's the only other ones that I saw. This Starlink game kind of confused me a little bit. I
yeah.
don't know quite
So
what I was looking at there.
that looks like my dream game when I was 10. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it seems like you go to the store and actually buy these physical like spaceships and parts for the spaceships.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you kind of like plug them into your controller, or there might be like a little portal like Lego Dimensions or Skylanders or something like that. And you play with your ship in the game that you build out of these toys. So
Dude, it was too edgy. It was crazy. Like, what are they holding?
yeah. it seemed kind of weird, but just like I said, like a kid, like that's probably a dream come true to build something physically and then see it in the game. That's
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I first saw it, I was like, I would go insane over this when I was a kid. Like, I would be all about this.
I must say though, when the fella came out to talk about it, he was talking to adults
totally
Yeah.
about buying this game, and that's kind of what made me double take a little bit.
I mean, there's probably some adults that saw that and was like, I've always wanted that, and they're gonna go play it anyway. I mean, that's fine.
heck yeah.
It seemed cool.
Oh yeah, to each their own. To
To each
There's a
their
crowd
own.
for everything.
Yeah,
For sure. And Just Dance.
Did you guys pre-order? I pre-ordered. I'm ready to go. Deluxe edition. Let's do it.
I love this record, baby, but I can't in it.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird little thing they had going on there to announce that. I mean, it makes sense, but
Dude, yeah.
It was kinda-
a little, I watched the opening of it. It's a little nuts.
I was like, wait, what is happening?
I saw
It's
a
like
panda
robots
dab
and then a
on
panda
stage.
bear.
Yeah.
Two pandas, Shakur, up on stage with his bandana.
Yeah.
Just Dance. And that's pretty self-explanatory in itself.
Yep. They're gonna keep on releasing those until little girls don't like music anymore, and that's no time soon.
That's pretty much going to be never. Going to be never. So I guess we're rolling next up into PlayStation.
Jump.
I'm going to get this out of the way right at the top. Why are you talking about Detroit Become Human? Talked about last year.
What do you
Where's
mean?
the game?
Why
Yeah,
are they
what do you
showing it
mean?
again?
Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that one?
Yeah.
It's like Heavy Rain again.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's
like-
just been a little while.
Yeah.
It's just been a little while. It's old news.
Yeah, it's been shown a couple times. They did show like a nice longer gameplay chunk, and I'll say, the graphics and stuff look pretty good on it. Games like that, it all comes down to the writing and, how your decisions play out. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
You're not too hyped on that one, Mr. Jake?
Oh, no. Well, that's why I got out of the way nice and early. Nice and early.
Fair enough.
One I do like is the Horizon Zero Dawn DLC that's coming out.
Yeah, so you are excited about that? I didn't know how you were going to feel about it. Last time I talked to you.
The ending of Horizon was not... Oh, my goodness. I was not feeling that, but...
Yeah, you were
whatevs.
not feeling that.
More to play. The game was pretty fun.
Now, it looked like, correct me if I'm wrong, the DLC looked like a snowy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
more so. And it looked like the Beast in the Mountain was doing something.
Yeah. So that was kind of
I don't
some
know.
imagery you had in the base game?
A little bit. Very little bit.
Gotcha.
You look at it, something's supposed to be going on. Like, it looks like a monster.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of Monster, PlayStation had Monster Hunter on their stage. What?
Yeah.
Like, what? That
was crazy.
Dude, Monster Hunter's been like a handheld game, like Vita and 3DS and stuff, right? Like its entire life, and now they're bringing it to consoles. That is big time. I mean, that is a huge game over in Asia and stuff.
Yeah.
It-
might be fun.
It looks cool, man. Big monsters chasing them down. I mean, long fights with these things too.
Yeah.
And just to drop this, as I was looking up Monster Hunter XX a little bit, I did see that it's coming to Xbox too. So that's a really big get for Microsoft too, because they have trouble getting those Japanese games like that.
Yeah.
Should be cool.
I'm definitely curious about a lot of the stuff that was announced during the Sony thing. Did y'all see the gold PS4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And did any of y'all catch the very beginning of it with the whole like Beatles on acid, like waterfall light effects thing?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was.
There was a big
crazy.
problem with their sound when it first got started up, though. They would
Yeah.
go into the trailers and you couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
But
They definitely had some stream issues. I think at the end of the stream, like IGN or GameSpot was running it for them. Like they just had complete technical meltdown. But at least their
Wouldn't be
conference was
any-
cool.
10.
They showed some cool games.
Oh, they sure did.
But Naughty Dog was there, but not in the way that I don't think I was the only person expecting The Last of Us 2. They showed off their Uncharted DLC, Lost Legacy, which I haven't gotten through Uncharted 4 yet, so I'm not I don't know why to be excited yet. You know, maybe the game is going to be sweet, and I'll finish it and be totally hyped about that DLC, but it hasn't happened yet. I just wanted Last of Us 2.
Yeah, man.
Why
I think a
not?
lot of people did.
I was expecting to see it at least.
Yeah, totes. I mean, and everybody knows. I mean, I'm sure it's old news. Anybody that paid attention to this stuff, that is, the week before was the tweet that went out from Kojima talking about Death Stranding not going to be there, and that was double bummer.
Bummed.
Double bummer.
Bummed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is interesting. But they didn't give you Last of Us 2, but they did give you some zombies.
It looked very much like Last of Us. Days Gone? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that bear was pissed.
Dude, barbed wire bear confirmed.
Yeah.
Can you ride it?
Dude,
I want to know if you can
before
tame
I put
it and
together
ride
what
it.
it was, I didn't know what I was looking at, and I'm sitting there because I'm looking at my notes right now, and I wrote down I am alive too, 3 question marks. Remember that game?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one just
Yeah.
it moves so slow, but yeah,
Also-
man, that guy was ruthless.
Yeah, it
I
seems
thought
like
it was funny when he first got on his motorbike and he's driving, comes along on the wolf eating the person. He's just like, nope,
Yeah.
accelerate.
just drove off.
The one thing I will say that Days Gone seems to have it going for it is they show these zombie, and I call them zombies. I don't know. It might be the Last of Us thing where they're infected. I don't know. They look like zombies. But the size of the hordes that they show are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
I
that
mean,
AI,
yeah.
how the AI works with that is looks crazy. It almost looks like a river rushing at you. There's so many of them, and how they all move together. It looks frightening.
What
yeah,
was
really
the
organic in a creepy way.
Yeah, what was the zombie movie? Was it 28 Weeks Later? I get the zombie movie and the Sandra Bullock movie mixed up. I can't remember.
28 days and 28 days later. Or
Yeah.
28 weeks.
28 weeks.
Dude,
yeah.
I get it mixed up too.
Rage virus.
You
Yeah.
gotta keep the bus above 50.
But it reminded me of that with the zombies at full sprint. And
Yeah.
that's a really scary thing. Yeah,
Prospect.
yeah. But Days Gone has some cool look to it. I will say the gameplay didn't look too interesting per se, but
Yeah, it didn't really,
you know,
get me going, but
but they do have some cool zombie tech. They're really leaning into that, so
Yeah.
we'll see what comes out of that.
it was definitely pretty neat. Capcom, do y'all really like fighters at all? I like
Nah.
this thing that they're doing with Marvel versus excuse me, what is it called? Marvel Capcom Infinite.
Yeah.
And I think the direction they're going with this is that they're not going to make new Marvel Capcoms. They're just going to make expansion packs to continue adding on to this one.
Yeah.
I don't know how much y'all dig fighters, but
Nah.
I thought it was pretty neat. I
you-
always liked those.
Used to when I was younger.
Oh yeah, I remember X-Men: Children of the Atom. I used to play that game quite a bit.
Man, old school, throwing it back.
So the music started, and I recognized the sound of the air immediately. And then they show a bridge
Dude,
that I've seen
I
so
recognize
many
the
times.
bridge, and I haven't played that game.
Man,
Yeah.
what is this about? Shadow of the Colossus. What is this about?
That was a drop the mic moment for Sony, man.
Yep.
So explain this to me, Jake. It's not a sequel, right? They're redoing the original.
Yeah, and emphasis on redo. Even in my notes, I wrote that it looked like it's just another remaster.
Because they kind of
it's
did
like,
that
seriously,
before for the PS3, right? Like an HD collection, or
Yeah, they bundled it with Ico or Ico,
Yeah.
however you want to pronounce it.
But
Um,
didn't Sony say this was a remastering, not a remake? Or
exactly.
am I backwards?
And that's the point. The same company, and I'm so bad with being able to Google while I talk. They're the same fellas that did the, Metal Gear HD collections 2 and 3 and Peace Walker, bundled together on the Xbox. Not the first Twin Snakes one. I'm pretty sure that was a different company that did that. But anyway, the point is it's not remastered. It's completely rebuilt. It's going to be the same game, they say, but Ueda's not involved, really, from Team Ico, the creator of all those games. It's just a rebuild of it, which, is awesome, but it will be the third time that I purchase this game.
and that's the biggest thing that you're upset about, just that you have to buy the same game again.
Oh, no. I'm not upset. I wish they would do a sequel, but maybe that's coming. Maybe this is just kind of poking to see, who else is out there who'd be interested in this.
Yeah, build
with
the
the
hype
power
train
of the
up.
PS4 and what I've seen, Shadow of the Colossus 2. Oh, man, it's one of the most haunting games I've ever played. And there is a little bit of a story you can pull from it. It's supposed to be super vague. Actually, I think it's just there's not an answer to be found.
Yeah.
But
Now,
maybe they can tie it together.
Now, do you think that they might do something like adding some of the cut Colossi that they had in original development, or do you think they're going to keep it, very true to the base game?
I think they're going to keep it true to the base game because I think it's just going to be the materials that they're provided.
Yeah.
And again, Team Eco is not really involved.
Yeah.
With it, but that's just based on what I've read. I'm not an analyst. I'm not a journalist. That's just what I've read on it so far because I was extremely interested in seeing maybe it's a retool, adding 3 of them, or maybe it's a platform to add more as time goes on. And if they want to just do it a chunk at a time and sell you a Colossus at $5 a piece, who knows? But there's
would that
a
be
PS4
interesting to
version that
somebody
exists.
like you?
I would hate it, but I would love to hate it.
You just want a sequel. That's all you want at this point.
Yeah, I appreciate it when these games take a different angle. I like the weird games.
Yeah.
The interesting ones. And just they took this medium and gave you a mood and a story and just a lot of fun in a way that nobody else really did. There are no enemies in the game other than these bosses. It's just an open, empty world, and it says a lot more in it than a lot of these games that I've played, in years to come after with this open world map environment we've all become used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a really cool concept, and it's a cool concept that has such a great cult following and really hasn't been done again. At least to my knowledge, or at least anything that's made it big. So, just having these giant bosses living around the world that you have to go take care of is really interesting. And for somebody like me, I'm glad that they're redoing the graphics, and it looks fantastic of what they've shown. I hope they give some controller options, because the little bit that I have dabbled around with it, the controls are really arcane and old. To be able to update that would be awesome. Bring it into the modern era. I'm glad that Shadow is getting some attention and getting some love again. It's cool.
We'll see what goes on because honestly, not a lot of people liked The Last Guardian, which is the last Ueda game that came out.
Yeah, that was
supposed to exist within the same universe, and it just wasn't terribly popular.
No.
Yeah.
Which was kind of surprising to me, but.
Who doesn't
because
love
that's
a
another one that
Catbird
they've
dog?
teased forever. That's not to say Shadow of the Colossus was teased at all. It was pretty random to me. It kind of shocked me. Let me see a couple things real quick. What? How about what do y'all think of God of War? God of War 4.
I think it's looking pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I can't argue with you, man. This is a game that I want in my life, and I'm sad that I won't get it.
Yeah, for sure.
Should
What's
be
your
called,
take?
like God of Custody War. Weekend. Dad's weekend.
Weekend Warrior.
Kratos gets every Saturday and Sunday, and then Easter.
Single dad adventure.
Oh God.
God of Custody War 4. It's my Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably really insensitive, and I'm sorry, but I had to.
Yeah.
If it's written in the notes, it's said on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks a little different.
Looks a
I
lot
was
different.
not a big God of War player though.
No,
I've
me
seen
neither.
it played in front of me a bunch of times, but I wasn't really playing games at that time when it was first out.
I would like to take a little time to tell a little anecdote about my friend Eric. One of our listeners told me the other day. He said that he went out and bought the God of War collection, including 1, 2, and 3. Popped the
Nice.
disc in, and he's like, "Man, it's an awesome game, but like I was fighting Zeus. All these gods are dead." And then he realized that he had put in God of War 3 first. So he finished the story before he even played the game. Pretty fantastic. So shout out to Eric playing God of War 3 first.
Yeah,
You go
but
get it, big
what
guy.
a pro. Shout out Eric.
Going against the grain.
But man, I was super impressed with that trailer. Like when he threw that axe into the fog, I was like, man, I hope a big monster comes back and is pissed. And sure enough,
Yep.
big snake monster came back and he was pissed. Looks cool, man. I'm excited to see some
Axes.
big bosses in that game.
You gonna snag
Yeah.
it, Jacob?
It's not at the top of the list, but it could happen.
Fair enough.
It could happen.
No, I'm
It's not
excited for
usually
it.
the vibe that I go for immediately.
Yeah.
There's only, I can be a hippie at heart sometimes with a lot of this stuff. I mean, there's only, what I remember of the other games is ripping out eyeballs and just the constant noise of pain-based screaming. Like screaming in response to pain.
It's agony.
And it would not stop, and it just made me it made me so sad how violent this game is. Like, it's not to say it wasn't entertaining to watch. I can only just take it in small doses.
Yeah.
See, it gave me a lot of the same vibes that like Shadow of the Colossus did. Like fighting something that was enormous. Like running up the side of the god, or swinging off, their arms and stuff. That was like
Yeah.
really cool. But back in the day on the old PlayStations like that, the old polygonal graphics, no bueno. But I think on next gen they have a chance to really show off, and that's exciting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
It's old news, but because we already covered Destiny 2, but Sony had the privileges to show Destiny 2 for consoles during this preview. I mean, we don't really have to go there. We saw Gaul more up front, the name of the antagonist.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I will say I'm pretty sad that they're doing exclusive content for PlayStation again.
strike, gear, armor.
Yeah, it was
a
a real
PvP
bummer
map.
last time. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. But honestly, Gaul, look at you, dude. Do you need a golden gun that bad? Seriously, bro.
He can play it on his gold PS4 Slim. It looks nice.
Yeah. The humans do not deserve the slim. Okay, so moving on. They had a whole lot more to show than, for instance, Bethesda, which, end of the day, just a little side jab here. It's like, how many different ways can y'all make Skyrim, by the way? But Sony had a lot going on in the VR front.
Yeah, I was
They had a
pretty
lot of
surprised
stuff.
that they had as many games and talked as much as they did. In my mind, I thought PSVR was going to go the way of the Vita and just kind of lose traction, but they seem to be standing behind it. They're bringing some, I don't want to say cool games. They're bringing some games to it. That's cool.
Well-
Skyrim in VR, I'm sure that's going to make the same 14 people that were hyped about the Switch version hyped about this. So, we'll see.
Oh man. What about Fishing Fantasy 15?
Oh, that is why I'm buying
what
a PS4.
happened?
Dude, I can't believe they just. That game is could have such cool VR moments, and they just did fishing.
They sure did. They absolutely
They sure did.
Fishing for monsters.
Dude, that's so edgy.
Oh,
I don't know what to make of that. It's
You
threw
just-
me for a loop, man.
We like
You
to
just-
be positive here, but that didn't look very good, man.
Yeah, you just kind of shake your head at it and go, "Yep, okay."
Well, maybe it's tight. I remember on my Dreamcast I had Sega Bass Fishing with the fishing controller.
Oh
That was real
yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah.
It was tight.
Again,
It was pretty tight. I was
some-
pretty popular.
someone out there is hyped. It just happens not to be us. That's
Yeah.
just what it is.
What about other titles that they showed, like Bravo Team VR or Moss?
Yeah,
Bravo
I mean,
team looked pretty bad.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
didn't seem like flushed out all the way of what you would expect.
It seems like an early access Steam game. Doesn't look done, and it's not. It's coming out later and stuff. But like I said earlier, the games didn't look great, but at least they're doing something. They're bringing some games out, and I'm sure VR games at the infancy state that technology, and you just got to keep doing it, and get those milestones, like figuring out how to not make people sick, and how to let people play for extended periods of time. So we'll see. Star Child looked interesting. It looked like a side-scrolling platformer, but was in VR. So I don't know how that's gonna work.
Yeah,
All of it looked like Barf City. I don't think I could hang in VR. I'd be
But-
losing weight.
They did show another game called The Inpatient, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of seemed like thriller, suspense.
Yeah.
It seemed alright.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Spoopy.
Spooky.
Spoopy.
Spooky, spoopy. I like a good spooky game every now and then. I dig
apparently,
it.
apparently
There's
it's,
one I used to really enjoy called Fatal Frame. Y'all ever heard of this?
no.
No.
You kill ghosts by taking selfies with them. Real
Is that-
talk,
is
dude.
that
It
real?
was years ago. Yeah, holler at your Google. Do your
Oh,
fire.
I am.
Dude, that's crazy.
But yeah, VR on Sony. Meh. I don't know. I think it's gonna come. I don't know. It's got to come a long way before I start to get into it, and I don't think they make enough. What is it, Dramamine for upset stomach? I don't think they make. I don't think they have enough of that in the world.
Hold on, I gotta eat this ginger root before I jump into the VR session.
I'll be on in a second, boys.
Speaking of another game that makes me barf because of vertigo, Call of Duty.
Oh,
This is a big deal to you fellas. Am I wrong?
kinda. I don't
So,
really care.
I thought y'all
Call
were
of
Call of
Duty's-
Duty dudes.
It's definitely slipped out of my, number one love in life to, 6 or 7. I still like it a lot, but so they're going back to their roots. World War II, where kind
Yeah.
of things started for them, which I think is smart. I think they were getting a little bit out of hand with their future stuff. The jetpacks and crazy weapons, and
Exosuits and wall running.
Yeah. I think it got away from it a little bit, and this was an excellent chance for them to, reel it back in. Let's make some really good gunplay. Let's do some good stories, and just leverage the power of the new consoles like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X to, really do some
There was
graphical
so
stuff.
much going on that screen.
Yeah.
During
It
that
looked
run.
like a particle effect tech demo. It was just like
Yeah.
explosion after, snowy explosion, and but they did
Sound-
show off a whole bunch of their multiplayer for the first time, and
Yeah.
it looked solid. It looked like old school Call of Duty, with better graphics. It was just running and shooting. So
Yep.
that's gonna make a lot of people happy, and I think that'll be a good breath of fresh air for Call of Duty as a franchise.
Remember grenades with sticks, y'all? They're
Oh,
back.
for sure.
Day back.
But I do want to say something because I think I had the information wrong a few shows ago. Is that they were talking a lot about Call of Duty World War II, going back to health packs, or not back to health packs, but doing health packs for the first time. Like no regenerating health or anything like that. But they did say that is just for the campaign. Multiplayer is the same as always.
Oh, okay. I was kind of confused about that.
Yeah. So normal regenerating health, stuff like that. But it looked good. It looked fun. We're gonna have to see how it all comes out. They have some betas opening up this fall. Should be pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely not my first pick, but they look good.
Yeah. What do y'all think of Spider-Man? They showed a lot of that.
I think it looked insanely fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude.
I feel like anybody who loved those Batman Arkham games would really be into this facelift.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, to be able to swing around building to building and just, beat up bad dudes and sling them into webs and give them to the cops. It just looks really good, like visually, and just kind of the mechanics look pretty good to me. I feel like I would have a ton of fun. Swinging around.
I think it looked real impressive as far as like graphics and some of the movement and stuff. I will say I did get that little no pun intended, but my spidey senses were tingling a little bit. They showed a bunch of QuickTime events, man, and boy, do I think those are like a cheap way out. But
I think the concept of Spider-Man is hard to capture.
Totally.
In a game, in a controllable character, because he's known for the absence of limitations due to his powers.
Yeah, and like being able to like hyper react to things, and obviously we can't do that. So
all we do is press X when it tells us to.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from, Eagle. I was kind of like, what's all this? Hopefully that's not the whole game, and I'm sure you're probably gonna have more freedom to just kind of go around the city and do whatnot. But like the
and
boss
that was
battles.
the allure to the older ones. I agree with you there. I hope I didn't talk over.
Swinging
you.
around
Sorry
and
about that,
exploring,
but I'm just agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Spider-Man 2. You're rolling through like Lego House, New York, because graphics were terrible back then.
Yeah.
But still, just swinging around willy-nilly, nimbly-bimbly.
Yeah, just having that freedom to do it, was fun in and of itself. Like, I don't know if you guys ever played, Grand Theft Autos, and you just find yourself just driving for 2 hours and not doing anything else. You're just driving
That's
at
why
breakneck.
I don't play Grand Theft Auto, because I can't ever get anything done. I just start driving.
Yeah, you just start driving, but so I feel like that's kind of what I could find myself doing. Wasting time just swinging around the city.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who played and enjoyed Sunset Overdrive, like, these are the same guys, and that was kind of like a weird version of a Spider-Man meets Jet Set Radio, so they kind of have some of those weird, high-flying, quirky chops already, so I'm excited for it. I think it looked cool, and I did see, I think it was yesterday, that trailer was the most viewed trailer out of E3.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
That's interesting, with Destiny being up there.
Yeah. Well, they got all the hype out of their way.
Yeah, Destiny came out before E3. Well, the trailers came out before E3. And I will put a little asterisk on it that, the new Spider-Man movie's coming out real soon. So, maybe people are just hyped on that and just want more Spidey. So, anyway,
or click
you slice
on the game demo thinking it's a movie trailer.
Yeah. The public's excited for it, though, so hopefully they can pull something cool off. A lot of the gameplay looks real neat.
Mm-hmm. It's got a 2018 release date.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's what everything on this E3 this year has, bud.
Oh, I thought it was all the second week of October.
Well, I think everybody except for PlayStation is releasing everything in October. PlayStation is releasing everything at the start of next year. Man, it's going to be a busy fall, and it's going to be a really busy start of the year.
Yeah.
Man, put in those extra hours at the old vacuum cleaner repair mill.
That was a struggle.
I'm going to have to up my Dyson quota. So, boys, that's what I have for Sony.
Yeah.
Those are the extents of my notes. I'm very sad that there was no Last of Us 2. I'm borderline salty.
I'm sad for you too, bud. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean it's about time. They've been teasing people for so long, and everything is coming out in 2018. So I feel like their E3 next year might be a little bit difficult for them.
Yeah, maybe.
Be all
Check
new.
out all these games we just released.
Yeah, but and a lot of people have talked about Sony not bringing it. As far as what I've read, first of all, Microsoft looked like they deliberately stacked their, they changed their conference time. Like this year was very deliberate in everything that they had to say.
Oh, for sure. No questions asked.
And Sony cleaned up last year. I mean,
Yeah.
Horizon's one of the biggest games of this year thus far, and they were showing that off last year, amongst other things.
Yeah.
So, I think they kind of take turns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and PlayStation had a huge year so far. With Neo and Nier Automata, like you said, Horizon. These games were huge, and they're still selling well. So, don't shoot yourself in the foot. Just keep releasing great games. Their conference was good. They have a lot of solid games, and hopefully they start coming out.
Yeah, it just wasn't 2 hours of world exclusive 42 times. It just wasn't that.
World exclusive.
And that's fine. I
World
thought
premiere.
I thought their conference was fine. Just wasn't Microsoft's this year. So
Yeah. Thank goodness. I don't know if I could have sat through another 2-hour one.
yeah, I don't know.
I'd take that back. I probably could, but,
Yeah.
Anyway, rolling the last one, closing it out, was a Nintendo. And, if not for quantity, the quality. I don't know. Nintendo was a little quirky this year. They didn't have a ton going on, but what they do have, I thought was pretty badass, honestly. They have some good news coming out of there. First of all, I have to say, we saw FIFA 18 on a Switch. On it said, the logo said FIFA 18. I have to look extra close to see if there's like some subtitled game, but this will not leave me alone.
Nope.
In our show.
Yeah,
It's so funny to me because it's not even a game that you're in, like you don't have a Switch and you're not gonna buy FIFA on it, but it is
just
the
haunts
thorn
me.
in your side.
Yeah, it just the logo said FIFA 18.
It looks like
So-
FIFA 18. The gameplay, everything. That's what it looked like.
I mean, they tried to make it look like the console releases, so you know what? I apologize for something I might not have had to apologize for. Doesn't matter. This is the last I'm going to talk about it. It looked like regular FIFA 18 on that Switch.
I want to throw this out before we get too deep into Nintendo's conference. Can I just say that I was surprised that Nintendo was the company with the most surprises, like the most like big drops in their games.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Can
Dude.
I just say that I felt like Nintendo gave a lot of promises though, and that didn't really have me that excited. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, if these things are delivered, okay, but I just felt like they were kind of like, hey, yeah, we'll get around to that. Like, there's no like real, I don't know, full blown
Yeah.
trailers or anything. It was kind of
Yeah,
underwhelming
I know what you're
to me.
talking about. For instance, you're talking about the Metroid Prime 4 screen, and then the interview where it was the fella said that they're working. It's like, oh, by the way, we are working on a Pokemon RPG at this moment.
Yeah, we have nothing to show of it or any concepts or anything, but yeah, we're thinking about it. Like, it's in our minds. It's like, all right, I mean, hell yeah, cool, but I could have went without.
Yeah, but no matter what the opinion, when I saw Metroid Prime 4, I was like, holy shit!
Oh, yeah.
dude,
For sure.
That was a big one, man. That is, everybody's been asking for Metroid Prime, make a new Metroid. Here it is. Like, they're doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're listening.
I think we've even talked about it on a past episode of our show.
Yeah.
How like a
Now-
modernized Metroid, I think, would be pretty cool.
Is Metroid Prime the first-person ones?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Those are the ones I like, too. The side-scroller ones are cool. They are nostalgic for me, but I think the first-person Metroids are really neat. I like the
Yeah.
Prime series.
Well, they did talk about a 3DS Metroid game as well. Samus Returns, is that what it was called?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that looked really fun to me. It seemed like they had a little more like control with the gun. I'm assuming with like the like C little toggle thing on the 3DS. I'm probably gonna pick that up. It looked cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
I agree.
right. You do roll with a 3DS.
Yeah, that's all where Nintendo gets my money.
Yeah. No, I think they're awesome.
Oh man,
I just
love,
don't know how I would use one.
Yeah, I love my 3DS though. They're awesome.
Yeah. That Kirby game looks cool. I mean, I don't know if either of you guys have played Kirby, but it's one of those games where it's like you get past the fact that he's a little puffball, and the game itself is actually a lot of fun.
I mean, again, my 12-year-old self was like super hyped when I saw that Kirby game. Yeah, it looks great.
I just like Kirby because he inhales his enemies. I just think that is the most badass way to dispatch somebody.
It's pretty metal.
Is just breathe
I
them
would
in
just-
and become them. You know?
Yeah.
You just turn
absorb
into a
the
blunt.
power.
Bloop.
Wonder if he.
But I don't know how much patience I have for side scrollers in this day and age. But
Yeah.
Kirby looked pretty cool. Guys, Rocket League on the Switch. I kept kind of just putting it off on my notes, but dude, this is a big deal. I think this is awesome. Yeah, slow clap.
Bravo
for the
to
Switch.
Psyonix.
Rocket League is for the Switch.
That's unbelievable. And they've also confirmed that it's going to support crossplay with PC and Xbox. Again,
Yeah.
PlayStation won't sign off on it. But hats off to Psyonix with just continuing to push this game forward and get it into people's hands. Just
That is awesome.
let people play with each
Oh,
other.
man.
That's great.
Oh, man.
Because I know you guys are huge fans of it, and I think 2 weeks ago when we were talking on the podcast, we were bringing up how FIFA on the Switch is going to be a really big deal because a lot of
I feel
people
that way too.
play that game. But so, do you guys think this is a bigger deal? Maybe.
Yes.
I think it
'Cause-
could
Yes.
potentially be.
Cheaper,
I think
more
FIFA's going to
accessible.
sell better.
FIFA's
'Cause-
going to be double the price.
True, but FIFA has millions and millions of players, as
the-
compared to Rocket League's. It's definitely a smaller game, but if it's going to outdo a game, that this is the place to do it. It's a perfect game for Switch.
Yeah.
Because it's great for
I
kids
think
to
it's
adults.
easier to pick up, and it's always been on sale. Always been. Right now, you can go on the PS4 marketplace. It's $20 for PS Plus members. It's $15.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's awesome.
FIFA on the Switch is most likely going to be one of their higher priced games.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just to, I'm gonna put this to bed for you, Jacob. Are you ready? I did some research.
Yes, sir.
So this comes straight from the mouth of Oscar Deus from GameSpot, who has played FIFA 18 on the Switch. Okay? Are you ready?
Okay. Here we go.
So, it's running on a different engine, and it doesn't include...
Just pull it out. Just pull it out. Get the thorn out.
And it doesn't include the single-player, what's called the journey, like the
Journey.
campaign or story mode.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did say, feature set, it's fairly complete besides that. So it is trimmed down in a sense, but it is the full-fledged FIFA 18, just on a different engine without the single-player story. So
Thank you.
there you go. You can sleep tonight, man.
Finally. I keep lying to the people.
I know you've been up for months.
I don't know about my opinion of FIFA. Like with Rocket League being on the Switch, I think that's cooler than FIFA. They just need to remake Rockstar Table Tennis for the Switch, and those are the only games that you need. You ever played Rockstar Table Tennis? That game was awesome.
I did. I was
Yeah.
I put some
Few
time
times.
into
It's
it.
pretty. It's pretty sick. What'd y'all think of a little big Yoshi, aka Yoshi?
I thought that game was really cute. I think it looked great.
No Sony boys here, dude. It looks just like Little Big Planet. What is the deal with Yoshi looking just like Little Big Planet? For real,
Yoshi, the sack boy.
though. Yep.
Yeah, it definitely had that. What was it
Yeah,
like?
Spider. He was called Sackboy. That was his name.
I know.
Gotcha.
It had a really neat look to it, kind of like everything was like cut out of cardboard or like
Yeah.
kind of
like
built
somebody
like
like a kid's playing with his Yoshi toy.
that. Totally.
Like this is an imagination run rampant.
Yeah.
But the neat mechanic that they showed off was you could kind of flip the whole level like 180, so you could see behind the level, which seemed really neat. So like if Yoshi was walking through a tunnel, you could flip the whole map around and you could see the other side of the tunnel where he's just walking through. It's just it seemed really neat. Nintendo is some of the most creative folks, and I'm sure they're gonna make a really cool Yoshi game. I love Yoshi.
I always liked the Yoshi games when I was younger. I had them on my Game Boy, and then
Yeah.
the standalone one that he had. We saw some more on Fire Emblem, and then finally, what I've seen, unless I'm missing something, Xeno. Old Xeno.
Old Xeno, and we're not talking
Old Xeno's
Xenomorphs.
at it again.
No.
Xenoblades.
Oh no, my note's closed. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This is an obscure series that, man, I remember having the original Xenogears on my PlayStation. I was also working at a game halt at the time. Is actually before the big name change and was referred to as software yada yada yada. And,
Right.
Yeah, and I had Xenogears, and I decided to see how much my games were worth one day, and at that time they had offered $129 of trade-in credit for somebody to trade in that game. Xenogears. Yeah, it was nar. It's crazy.
Jesus.
But this game just kind of grew over time, became a Xeno Saga, and then the Xenoblade series, and they're still at it.
It definitely looks like a capital J RPG.
Yeah, sure does, bud.
Yep.
I don't even know what it's supposed to be about anymore. Space, robots,
Neither
aliens,
do they, Jacob.
swords.
It's the
Pink
Chronicle of Xenoblades, the second one.
Xenarnia or whatever it is. Point
Breath
X.
of the Xenoblade.
Yeah. And finally, all of the hype about DLC coming out for Breath of the Wild, what do y'all think of this? It looked like it was taking a little bit different approach to DLC. It looks like you buy and maintain a season pass. And like whenever it's active is like when you can play the DLC. If that makes any sense. But
yeah,
they're apparently adding a master mode, and then Ballads of Champions and Trial of the Sword.
Yeah. I mean, that game looks incredible. That's the only game that's almost made me buy a console, like straight up.
Same here.
I hope one day I get to play it and experience this game that literally set the world on fire for months. Like I couldn't listen to podcasts because it was just an hour of people just rambling about their times in Zeldas. It was just like I haven't played it. I don't care.
Yeah.
If they had released this even on just PlayStation, if not both, like if they had branched, this would be the end-all be-all, in my opinion. This would be the game everybody played for the next 10 years, I think. Yeah. Everybody would buy this game. Everybody would have memories of this game.
I've never heard like people say, it's my favorite game of all time, with such consistency, like across the board. I wonder how much of it is, the nostalgia for Zelda and, this one being such a good one. Because I don't share that same history with Zelda that a lot of people do. I've played some, but it wasn't like my go-to childhood game like many people. But yeah, the DLC looks cool. I saw that the hard mode has its own save slot, which I know a lot of people are worried about. That seems cool. That's the right way to do that. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what they keep on doing to it. The DLCs looked pretty neat so far.
Yeah.
I thought it looked great. I'm a little envious, but not really.
Just a tad.
Really. What I have left with my notes as far as Nintendo goes, with the exception of Fire Emblem Warriors, is two games that looked a little cray cray, for my opinion. And the first being Splatoon 2, and it's room full of adults having a great time, just chanting, with backwards baseball caps and just being so cool and edgy. Playing Splatoon, That was pretty cool. And Mario Odyssey.
Ooh,
Yeah.
so they
What
showed it.
was I looking at?
Man,
That game,
game
was
was crazy.
bonkers.
Did you guys see how Mario could like go up to a wall and then it would turn back into like the 2D platformer, like the original Mario?
yeah.
Dude, what did you think of that? I thought that was really neat.
Yeah,
It was so cool, man.
There was so much going on.
Yeah, so to break it down, Super Mario Odyssey, all the stuff they've shown so far has been focusing on Cappy, his hat. He's got eyeballs. It's weird. But anyways, so the whole trailer basically showed off Mario throwing his hat, and whatever, he threw his hat on top of, like a person or, a toad or Bullet Bill, whatever, you took control of it as Mario. It grew a little mustache, and, it's time to go.
Reverse Kirby, dude.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
But it seemed really cool. They had a lot of mechanics around that hat. I think it's going to be a game people are able to sink hundreds of hours into, looking for all the coins and the moons that they have hidden around. It looked fantastic. I love the look of it.
That was the impression I got too, that this was a long game. This is going to be a long game, and I don't know. I like the 3D Marios. I like them a lot. This one looks
they're not my
wild.
favorite because I had trouble platforming in 3D. It's the same reason I didn't love Banjo-Kazooie and things like that, because it's like you can't see real well because the cameras have always been really bad in those. But if they're able to figure that out, dude, I'm all in. I want this.
Yeah. I mean, I love Super Mario Sunshine. That was like one of my favorite games when I was growing up.
You and your buddy Flood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then finally ARMS. I almost skipped over this, guys. I don't want to interrupt Mario talk. I just want to throw out ARMS there because they have talked about it a whole bunch.
Yeah, it was finally just released. It looks pretty cool. A neat fighting game where you kind of throw your arms at people.
Yeah.
I don't think Planet Fitness will let me, use their gym as like in the video for it and all that. So I'll just have to. Sorry, I just like all of the video portions from the Nintendo conference were just a trip. Like,
yeah,
I don't know how many, I don't know if my buds down in the abandoned cathedral will want to play Pokemon Tournament Deluxe fighting game, with our dance moves and our dyed hair. But
yeah,
I mean, they were showing clips from like 8 Mile, and then like you could zoom in and it's people playing ARMS on little Switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some hits, some misses, but the hits were really big hits.
Yeah.
Rocket League on Switch, I will reiterate.
Yeah, and Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah,
big time.
But I guess we'll just see that next E3 though. It's kind of hard for me to count that because it's really easy to say.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my point at the beginning. Sorry, I'm not trying to hate on it, but yeah. Exactly.
No, you're good, bud. I know where you're coming from. There's a lot of pressure around E3 though.
Yeah,
it's kind
for
of that.
sure.
It's kind of just when you have to have something, I guess.
Yeah.
Totally. I think all in all, E3 was a real great show this year. I thought there were a lot of cool game announcements, some cool hardware shown. They have a really exciting year lined up for us and a really busy fall.
Really busy fall. Yeah.
What did you guys think? Did you think the show was like a good one? There's been some bad ones over the years.
Yeah, I
Real
mean,
stinkers.
I enjoyed myself watching all of it and getting excited. Like, 3 o'clock's almost here. 3 o'clock's almost here. That's what I was doing pretty much every day when these conferences were coming up. So I was excited the whole time, and I don't think I was let down at all. I'm super hyped. I mean, the main takeaway, really busy autumn. Like October is gonna be nuts. It just really is.
You ain't lying.
I'm looking forward to Tacoma, Shadow of the Colossus, and I think Microsoft did the best job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to Anthem, Xbox One X, Destiny 2. Yeah, I'm hyped.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Anthem is definitely on the top of my list. I hope they deliver, what they showed and more. I don't want another Destiny. Please, God, don't give me another Destiny.
There he goes. Now Spider. Well, I mean that's kind of what we got for the press conferences, boys. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it. That's our view on old E3 that we've seen thus
High fives
far.
all around.
Yeah. Roasted.
Somebody out there, tell us what you liked about it. Tell us what you're looking forward to, please. I'm just playing.
It's
But
so
yeah,
lonely.
to go into it, you can find us at edgystances@gmail.com and edgystances.squarespace.com for the website.
Yeah,
Let us know
or
what you
hit
think.
us up on Twitter at Edgy Stances. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, spoiler alert. We got Overachievers coming up. Scott's
Here we go.
weekly show. And real quick, if I could, guys, can I sneak some AFK news in here?
Sure.
Drop it.
What's up, bud?
Can I just I beat Dark Souls 3.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Brent is thy shepherd. I shield
yeah.
of want.
Yeah.
Yeah, he helped
you
me
walked
get
through the
he
valley
helped me
of
out with
the
some lore and rolling through there, and I started my new game plus, and I'm just torching, and it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to start up Bloodborne here, which I have, but I found some quirks that I can get our PS4 play, like with Bloodborne and such. And what I am starting up is Let It Die. I'm trying to get that up on Mixer too, so we can have everything all in one place. Nothing against Twitch or anything. I just think Mixer is hella cool and it's brand new. So Eagle's been on that like crazy. Check him out, mixer.com/besteaglealive. He's got videos on top of videos. He'll talk to you too. He's good at that. I'm kind of a mouth breather sometimes when things get intense on a game. Just shooting lasers, catching flies.
Well, I think there's a big difference between me playing a game of Rocket League and you trying to beat the dancer on Dark Souls. So I have a little bit more mental bandwidth available.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm a little bit country,
to put a bow on it for
rock
you,
and roll.
Jacob, did you like Dark Souls?
I loved it, man. Dark Souls is great. Like, I want to write poetry about it. It's just showing me a side of games that I really enjoy. Not only that, but I'm going to get a little bit mushy here. I'm thankful for Dark Souls because it's helped me out in my life, too. In my regular life. Whenever we go through dramas and stuff in our regular life, Dark Souls taught me a new trick of what to do with my frustrations. Like how to deal with that when they come up.
Yeah.
And,
so what do? Like when work gets tough, do you just go out and grind some souls and come back to it? Or
Pretty
No, you
much,
just
dude. No, I switched to my raw Astora greatsword.
No, you just got to parry the drama away, dude. Parry the drama.
Yeah. Now I pick up my green sphere and be on my way. And no, real talk though. That's really how it went down, and I'm looking forward to getting into the DLC. But I don't want to take forever with this little news. But yeah, hyped about that. Also, Currency, favorite rapper. Pilot Talk Trilogy just came out. It's Pilot Talks 1, 2, and 3. It's his best stuff. It came out in like 2009, 2010 when he was at his best, but not that big a deal. So he wasn't on Spotify or nothing yet. He just re-released all 3 albums onto one playlist on every major music streaming outlet. Currency with the $sign instead of an S. Pilot Talk Trilogy. Fantastic. And that's
shout
it for
out
my
to
AFK news, boys.
Currency.
Yeah. Brr, 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 brr. Listen to him. He
Good
deserves
job,
it.
buddy.
Yeah, and I'm getting started with Let It Die. And that's that'll be another show, another time.
Well, hopefully Uncle Death will treat you right.
He already is, man. The dude's my homie.
Everybody loves the Grim Reaper on a skateboard. I mean,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
tight.
Dude, he's awesome. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's really funny. So, Overachievers, here. You can have your spotlight back. Eagle.
oh, thank you. It
apologize.
is warm. I was getting a little cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, every week we'd like to do a little segment called Overachievers at the end of the show, where we take a look at some of the achievements in games, their rarity. We're still trying to find a good way to do PlayStation. So if you have some great ideas on that, let us know. Hit us up on Twitter. But for today, we're going to be covering the Xbox One edition of Watch Dogs. One of the OGs.
Man, did I love this game.
I liked it a lot too, man. You and I kind of went through it at the same time, and we had that, those cool water cooler moments of, I did this and I did this.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty neat.
It's one of the only games that I played through like twice, like completely. Love the multiplayer. I am the invader. Oh man.
Yeah, you are, man. So yeah, on Overachievers, we take a look at the rarity of some achievements. We like to look at the most common as well as some of the most rare and weirdest in between. So, starting with the most common achievement, that would definitely be the Hello World achievement, which is to take down Maurice. Which is kind of the first kind of mission, right? Or kind of first tutorial-ish area.
Mm-hmm.
But so 84.83% of gamers have completed that. So usually our most completed achievement's a lot lower than that. So
yeah, I was gonna say that's the highest number we've had so far.
Good job, world! Way to
their money's worth.
Yeah, way to take down Maurice. Proud of you guys. And just to kind of fill in, the listener, Watch Dogs is free for Xbox Gold members right now. So go download it if you don't have it.
Worth it, so worth it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And then once you beat that, go buy Watch Dogs 2 because that game was great too.
Oh man, first one, game that keeps on giving with its mini games.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But so moving on down the line, Watch Dogs is broken up into 5 acts in their story. So to complete Act 1, the achievement Family Man, that was completed by 38.09% of players, which
okay, lost a few along the way.
There's a bit of a drop.
Yeah.
It is shocking to me that almost 50% of players didn't, complete Act 1. Like they just dropped
went over
off
on their data.
Yeah, maybe. Can't hack. Battery's dead.
Hack it. Nice, bud.
But yeah, so almost 40% of people completed Act 1, and that number did dwindle on down.
Yeah, and it sucks because that part ruled. That was with the stadium that blacks out, right?
Yeah.
Man, you wreck this basketball game that's going on. It's awesome.
It is pretty neat.
Yeah.
But so moving on, in Watch Dogs, you're messing with the cops a whole bunch because they're the bad dudes, obviously. And so the achievement Free Radical, and that was to escape a level 5 police chase. Level 5's the highest it goes. That's when they're throwing everything at you. That was completed by 18.69% of players. So
wow.
Decent amount. That's
the police will find you in that game.
Woo! Yes, they will.
I bought some kind of deluxe edition, so it came with a special off of UB Play, some special car. It was like the Papadogio or something like that.
Papadogio?
Papadogio. Sounds like some kind of microwave pizza or something, but it was a stealth counterpart that the helicopters, they couldn't pick you up, so you could get into the 5-star police chases, get out, call up your little car delivery Uber service, drop that off, and then once you're in it, you can outrun the cops when they see you. But once the CTOS starts with its little circle areas of surveillance, they can't pick up on the car. So I kind of cheesed that one.
Yep. It was a neat car. I think I got that one as well. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, super fast.
But staying on the whole police kick, there was also another achievement called Escape Loop, and that was to escape 15 police chases, which it kind of was a little odd to me. That was only done by 9.23% of players. I feel like I escaped hundreds of police chases in that game.
Yeah, many
I feel like 15's a low number, but maybe I just went in too loud. Maybe the rest of the world went in a little bit sneakier than me.
9% though.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I would figure if 18% have escaped a level 5 police chase, that sounds a little easier or harder to me than like escaping a 1 star,
like a
or
1 star. Yeah.
that would
some of the
happen more
missions-
often.
Some of the missions start with you being in that situation.
Oh, a 5-star.
Like,
Yeah,
like
or
the whole
just in
point is
police
to get
chases.
out of it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's strange.
You would have to completely ignore the side game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, but anyway,
But so speaking of side games, just like any other Ubisoft game, it is packed with side missions and all types of, different types. And one of them is the privacy invasions, and the achievement was called Peephole for completing every privacy invasion.
That's dirty.
No.
That's dirty. Dude.
I know you had
Nasty.
to like these, Jake, because I loved them. They were
Sinner.
great
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bits of story.
I dig stuff like this where they were so creative. Some of them were hilarious. But
yeah.
you're right. I don't
But,
want to cut you off though. Go ahead, my friend.
No, you're fine. So yeah, for the Peephole achievement, only 3.78% of players did all the missions, completed all of them. It was a bunch.
Like as far as all the privacy invasions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I remember they worked a little different. Well, not worked differently, but in Watch Dogs, it was kind of like, as far as the mission, it was like in 3 tiers. You had your top tier, which were the story missions, campaign missions. You had the second tier, which were stuff like privacy invasions and such, where then you had your third tier, which were the little side games, like you could play chess or Texas Hold'em or drunken games, or like 3-card Monty or whatever, gamble your money with this final level of game. And I remember privacy invasions were in that second tier. I can easily see how people would miss that, because don't you have to get to the CTOS tower, hack that, and that unlocks all the goodies in the area, or at least lets you know, because there are many of them.
Yeah, and a lot of them were like based around like small hacking puzzles. Like everything in Watch Dogs was getting the cameras in the right positions and stuff, and getting able to hack things. And I remember struggling on some of them, to find the right cameras or to find the boxes you could hack.
It always reminded me of hacking in BioShock.
Yeah.
Or that game Pipe Dream on the computer years and years ago with the water.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude. I just had a wave
favorite
of nostalgia knock me out.
Yeah, dude. Sorry, man. Get up in this DeLorean, dude.
Yeah.
What was your favorite privacy invasion? Do you have one? I have one.
So, was the dude getting swatted, was that in Watch Dogs 2 or the original one?
I think that was the second. That was the second.
That was definitely my favorite one across both games, because that was awesome.
I think my
terrible.
favorite was in the first one, and you hack this. You hack the terminal, and then you see, because in this game, in Watch Dogs, everything is connected to CTOS, so there are cameras in everyone's house, and this is kind of what keeps everybody peaceful, and everybody can get help when they need it. That being said, you can exploit it and hack into it and see in people's apartments, and they always have this like weird video prepared for you, like what you're gonna see. And I remember it was a kid and a dad sitting on a bed playing a video game, and it becomes very clear that they're playing Assassin's Creed, because the dad is asking questions like, so where are they? Are they not? So he's dead, but he's talking? And the kid's like, Dad, you're ruining it.
It's like, I'm assassinating this guy. Let me enjoy this.
Yeah, it's like, it's to keep the peace, Dad. Like,
He's a
like,
Templar. Leave me
so
alone.
you kill him and then you talk to him? You're ruining it, Dad. It's a tie between that and then I think somebody's like working on a desk and like just doing regular things and answering the phone, and then outside the window you just see a body fall like past the window.
Really?
Oh my God.
Jesus, it's dark.
Yeah, dude, they're weird. They're weird, and some of them get a little dark. That's why, if you can get all that peephole achievement, you've seen things, man.
Yeah.
I've seen some things.
That's pretty cool.
For sure.
I'd recommend doing them.
Dude, get it for free, bud. Play it. I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, after
If you
we're
like
done with
Phantom
this,
Pain, dude, I know it's an
Yeah.
obscure comparison, but I know this fella personally. So
Nah.
anyway, go ahead, Eagle. Sorry.
No, you're good. So we always like to look at the achievement to beat the game or whatever is equivalent to that. So the achievement Log Off, which is to complete Act 5, which in my opinion was a great ending to the game. I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a nice little cherry on top. And that was completed by 18.01% of players. So less than 20% of players even got done with the story, which is real sad.
That is really sad. But the
the
game was so
people-
confusing, so I can kind of understand it.
Yeah, totally. And it gets kind of difficult towards the end. There's some real overwhelming missions.
So the people that got away from the level 5 police chase went on to beat the game.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake. I think there is a level 5 police chase like in the story, kind of. So if you're going to beat the game, you probably should have that achievement.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of those missions are structured as such.
Yeah.
You're a getaway driver, and that's just your next thing that you're doing. I know
Yeah.
the second one exploited that with the smart car. But I mean, Watch Dogs 1 is free, and then Watch Dogs 2 is cheaper. Both of them are awesome. They're so different from each other too, and that's why I like them so much. It's like an anthology type of approach instead of a direct plot sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. It's a neat, different take on it.
Yeah, it's kind of like how True Detective worked. Like they're about the same thing, but each season is pretty unique
Yeah.
in its own
Right.
For any True Detective fans out there, if not, you should watch it.
Oh, for sure.
Both seasons are great.
And so just to wrap up the overachievers, we love to look at the most rare of the rare achievements. And Jacob made a little hint towards it earlier. Good old social lubricant. That is to complete level 10 against all 3 drinking game opponents.
Impossible.
Impossible.
It is not possible.
I tried for hours. I watched you try for hours. I watched Carrie try for hours.
Oh man,
None
poor
of us
Carrie
have
too.
it.
Like, cause he's the one that he had a job at weird times of the day at one point. So he would be awake at 6 o'clock in the morning because that was just part of his regular day, and
Yeah.
just playing this because there's nothing else to do. Nobody else is awake, but just playing this, trying to get this is crazy.
So, to all you gangsters who have this one, 0.47% of players have it.
My God.
Holy buckets!
Well, I just want to try this now.
Yeah, what about the
It's one of
spider
those-
tank?
Dude, it's one of those stupid mini games where you have to fight your drunk self, the stick. You have to move it around and
Yeah.
you're drunk, and it's this is maddening.
It's
Frustrating.
like just try to pass a DUI test.
This is not how I act when I'm drunk.
I remember me and my roommate Tyler got drunk to see if that would counteract the game, to see if we could complete it that way.
Good
Spoiler
excuse
alert,
to booze
it
up.
doesn't.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
Which
wow.
is really mad.
Couldn't imagine.
You boys are so brave. No, it's for science.
Thanks for overachieving with me, guys. That was
Oh, thank you,
Yeah,
bud. Every
thanks
week.
for putting it together, buddy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
This is an illuminating look into the. Again, we're still trying to figure out PlayStation, how to get the some good specs on that, but it's a good look into the gamers world.
Yeah, and if there's a game that you'd like to for us to take a look at the achievements and the rarity of things, we've had listeners ask us to do Fallout. We handled that last week. That was fun. So hit us up on our Twitter at Edgy Stances and let us know what game you'd like to do. We'd love to take a look at it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Thanks again for everybody who listens. Everyone, please review if that's your thing. But at the very least, it would be cool if you could tell a friend, because that's how this kind of thing gets going.
It's going, whether you like it or not.
We're doing
Oh,
it.
speaking of going, boys, every episode we do just gets longer and longer and longer.
I know.
We're
We
on
got to
this
get out of
train.
here.
Yeah.
Makes sense trying to get in this booth.
Closing time, talk about your games, and then get the fuck out of here. Okay, dude, I'm done. Sorry, guys. I think I'm coming down with something, so I've been a little NyQuil'd up today. Hey, y'all. Stay ambered.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I want you to have the best day you've ever had.
Bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, close it. I'm going to do a fade out effect.